Good morning, students. Myself, Meenal Purhekar, welcomes you all in the online tutorial of Shri Eknath Rao Khadse Talent School, Muktai Nagar. So in previous videos, we have covered two chapters from class 10 that are chemical reactions and equations and acid bases and salt. So as chapter 3 and 4 are excluded by CBSE this year from the syllabus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so we are going to take fifth chapter from science textbook NCERT, that is periodic classification of elements, right? So we'll see the chapter, right? So I have given you an introductory clip about periodic table, right? So in that they have explained what is the need of arranging this element. So it is a human tendency to arrange everything in a proper way. When we used to study, when we used to prepare for exams, what we used to do, we put similar topics together, as in a connectivity, in a link we can easily understand the topic, and dissimilar is afterwards to it. So it is convenient to us to learn easily that things. So in this way, for this purpose only, scientists have arranged these elements in a form of a group, or they have given many theories related to this. So in this chapter we are going to learn how the modern periodic table is evolved, and which scientists are involved before the discovery of modern periodic table, and how many discoveries were there before modern periodic table, that table which we are using currently as a periodic table. So here we are going to learn from the starting of the discovery. So first discovery that was given by Daubernier. First discovery was given by whom? Daubernier. Daubernier given the first discovery, and he named that as Daubernier's trade, or you may say as triads. So in this Daubernier's triad, what he explained, what he did a grouping of three elements. What he did, he kept three elements together in this way. See, if A, B and C are the elements, then he kept three elements in same three elements together, and he arranged these elements on the basis of what? On the basis of atomic weight. On the basis of atomic weight, or you may say mass. On the basis of atomic mass, he arranged this in this triad form. Why triad we have called them? Because triad means three. A pair of three element is known as triad, and Daubernier given this, that's why Daubernier's triads. So he arranged these elements in this way, and what is the main principle behind this? That he arranged them on the basis of atomic mass. So what was the way how he have arranged this? So what he concluded, that atomic weight mass of this element B, atomic weight of B is equal to atomic weight of A plus atomic weight of C divided by 2. Means the average of both the left and right side of elements is the atomic weight of the middle element. In this way he arranged the elements. What? The average weight of sum of atomic weight of A plus atomic weight of C is equal to the atomic weight of element B. So on this basis he arranged the elements. So let us see an example. See, if the atomic weight of, see here, if the atomic weight of A here is 2, here B is 3 and here C is of 4, then see here, atomic weight of 3 we have to conclude now. So see, atomic weight of A is 2 plus atomic weight of C, that is 3, divided by 2 equals to 3 plus 2 5, sorry, here 4 we have to take, 4 plus 2 6, 6 by 2, that is 3. So in this way he concluded this. We will see now with the examples of the elements what he have successfully kept. See, successful groups what he made was calcium, strontium and barium. Now here let's see, atomic weight of calcium was 40, strontium it was 88 and for barium it was 137. So just calculate this average. See here, atomic weight of A plus C divided by 2 we have to do to know this. So 40 plus 137 divided by 2, what will it give? 162, right? No, not 162. That will be 177 by 2, that is 88.5. So see, this 88.5 is approximation to this 88 atomic weight, right? So these are the elements which are present nowadays in the second group of modern periodic table, right? So here with the approximation of 88 atomic mass, he have kept these 3 elements in a successful manner in his triad method, right? And next he was grouped as chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So here also you can see here the atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. Bromine has 80 and iodine has 127. So here we can do 35.5 plus 127 gives what? Divided by 2. It gives us 162.5 divided by 2, that is 81.25. Right? So here 81.25 and here we have 18, the atomic mass of bromine. So not only that, not only because the atomic weight of these elements are similar, but different properties are also similar with each other. See the properties, see the similarities then. Now these both 3 elements are nowadays kept in the second group of a modern periodic table. These are kept in a 17th group. So here see the similarities, 3 of these have the valency plus 2. Plus 2 is the valency, means in the outermost orbit, in the outermost shell of these elements, 2 elements are 2 electrons are present. That's why their valency is 2, right? Now both are, 3 of them are metals. They have metallic characters. Now bond with hydroxide means hydroxide, they form hydroxide hydroxides of three of these elements are basic in nature. You have seen hydroxides in acid and base chapter as calcium hydroxide, strontium hydroxide, barium hydroxides. So all the three hydroxides are basic in nature. So these are the similarities. Now similarities in these, see, these are the halogens, and these halogen atoms are kept in 17th group of modern periodic table, and common things are they have -1 valency, right? Three of them are non-metals, and their halides. Halides means what? Reaction with acid, reaction with hydrogen, sorry. Halide, HCl, HBr, HI. These are acidic in nature. All these halides are acidic in nature. So in this way, Daubernier has kept elements in triad form. Now it was a great discovery, as it was the first classification given by any scientist on the basis of atomic mass, and before this no one has even grouped them, or even not seen any similarity in between any elements, and he had given a triad to us. So it was a huge discovery, and for this discovery he has awarded with a Nobel Prize. In that days Nobel Prize was not there, so he was awarded with Dave Medal by Royal Society. So he received a medal for this too, but it was also failed. This table was also failed, because what are the failures? Now there we are going to see the failures of Daubernier's trait. Now see, the first failure was that he is not able to keep all the known elements in that group. Means all the elements which were known at that time, he is not able to keep all these elements in one periodic table. So this was the major failure, because only few elements he is able to keep in this triad form, because all the atomic weights are not getting equal to the average atomic mass of both the two elements, right and left. So he was here failed to keep all the elements in triad. Kept in triad that time. Right. Second failure was, even in the same group the law failed. Now we'll see the example. Same group, law failed. So how the law was failed even in the same group, we'll see here. See, we have seen the example of chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Yes. So here we have seen with these three that the atomic weight of bromine is equal to the average of both these chlorine and iodine. But the element which comes before chlorine in 17th group, that is fluorine. Fluorine is also a halide. So with this, when we do the average weight concept, what is happening here? See, here the weight is 19, here 35.5 is the weight, and here bromine has the atomic weight of 80. So see the average, 19 plus 80 by 2 equals to 99 by 2, that is 45.5. So see here, through this average method, 45.5 should be the weight of chlorine, but the actual weight of chlorine is what? 35.5. So here he failed to prove this law. So in this way, this Dauvergne-Strade experiment was failed, and these were the two reasons for the failure of Dauvergne-Strade. What was this? That even in the same group, the law was failed. The atomic weight concept was not applicable to the fluorine element of the same group that has halides chlorine, bromine and iodine. And the first failure was all the known elements cannot kept in the table, because only few elements are applied in this atomic weight concept, and all elements known at that time were approx 56 elements. On all these approx 56 elements were not kept in this form. Now another discovery was done by a new scientist, that was Newland. Newland gives his Newland's octave rule. Newland was a music lover, and he is a chemist also. So, but he is a music lover, that's why what he had done, he had mixed up chemistry with music. So most of us know this thing, that every music, whether it is Western, whether it is Indian, whatever kind of music it is, it has seven basic notes, right? 7 basic notes each music have, and in Indian music the 7 basic notes were sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, and again sa. So these are the 7 notes which basically each kind of music has. So in this way he has arranged elements in the form of these 7 notes of music. He has arranged the elements. So what he has done, what he has concluded, first we will see this. What was the principle behind this is that in this form of table, what he has concluded, that the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic mass. On the basis of increasing atomic mass, he has arranged these elements, and what he concluded, that every 8th element after 7th, every 8th element have properties similar to the first elements. Mean whatever the element after this 7 will come here, that have the properties similar to the element which is kept here. Or if here is the element, if this is the element, from this the 7th element, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will be here, and 7th and the 8th element will come here. So whatever 8th element that is kept here, the properties of this element will be similar to the element this. So he concluded that the every 8th element have properties similar to the first element, starting from anywhere, right? So this law was concluded as Newland's octave rule. Octave means 8. Every 8th element have similar properties with the first element. That's why this rule is known as Newland's octave rule, right? So in what way he has arranged, we'll see the elements now. See, First element was hydrogen. Noble gases were not discovered till that time. That's why he didn't have kept it noble gases in this table. So hydrogen, lithium, helium is left from here, right? Beryllium, then boron, then carbon, then nitrogen, then oxygen. Again with oxygen, fluorine. So fluorine के बाद फिर neon is not discovered at that time, as it is also an noble gas. Sodium, sodium, then magnesium here, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, then here chlorine, then argon is there. Argon is also not there, as it is also a noble gas. Then after this argon, potassium, calcium. So till calcium he has arranged the table. Now see, in this way he has arranged. As till this time no noble gases are discovered, that's why he has not kept noble gases in this format. So it was also a very successful discovery, because first time he has concluded that he has arranged these elements in the form of increasing atomic number, as Daubeney has arranged the elements in the on the property basis of atomic mass, but he has not suggested that it is in the form of ascending order or descending order. But here Newland has concluded that he has arranged these elements in a form of increasing atomic mass, right? So he has given a relation to us that the elements are arranged in the form of increasing atomic mass. Second, he has given relationship of atomic weight or atomic mass with the properties. Now he had concluded the relationship of atomic weight with these of properties. And what were these? See, the elements were, the element means each eighth element has the property similar to the first element. Means we can conclude that if beryllium is the first element, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So magnesium has the property similar to beryllium. Every eighth element has a property similar to the first element. So in this way he has concluded a relationship between atomic weight and properties. Now see the lighter elements, lithium, sodium, potassium. These were what? Lithium, sodium, potassium, beryllium, magnesium and calcium. These are lighter metals, and these are what? Light metals, and these are alkali metals. So these alkali metals, alkali non-metals, he have kept it in similar group. He concluded that these have the similar properties, as they have the eighth element, and every eighth element have the similar property with the first element. So here see, lithium has similar properties with sodium, and sodium has similar properties with potassium. So this was the truth. Then beryllium has similar property with magnesium, and magnesium has the similar property with calcium. So both these elements have the similar properties. So this was also a merit to him. Then third was what? Third merit was what? That periodicity. Periodicity was the major factor in this table. Now here we will see the merits. First merit was what? First time elements were kept in increasing atomic mass. Right. Second thing was what? That he has established the relationship between atomic weight, relation between atomic weight and properties to atomic properties. Right, and third major factor was periodicity. So this periodicity terms means what? Periodicity means after a fixed interval of time something is repeating again and again. Here what is happening? After every seventh element, the eighth element has the similar property with that of the first element. So this is what? This is periodicity. After fixed interval, the property will repeat or increase by regular manner or decrease by the decrease in regular manner in some interval, fixed interval of time. This is known as what? Periodicity. So major factor periodicity is seen in this periodic table. What periodicity? After each seventh element, eighth element is showing same property with the first element. So this were the merits to this Newland's octave rule. I hope you are clear with this, right? Now we'll see the demerits of this Newland's octave rule. If anything has merits, then it will also have demerits. We says this na, if anything has a benefit to us, then also has its harmful causes along with the benefits. So here also when it has some merits, also has some demerits too. What was the first demerit here? The first demerit was he had excluded noble gas from his table, right? Because see here, after hydrogen, helium is there. Here helium will come, right? Here it is the space for neon. Hydrogen, helium, fluorine, neon, chlorine. Here argon will be there. So what he does, he excluded these noble gases. He didn't kept the noble gases in this table, and he has excluded, he has provided no space for the in future if any noble gas is there, so is invented, so he also didn't have given a space for their inventions too. So not for he didn't have given the spaces for noble gas, and also he has not given the spaces for the new elements that are to be discovered as a mankind, elements to be discovered. Yes, because every day new discoveries are going on, and at that time many discoveries are going, still he didn't have given any space for the discoveries of new elements and noble gases too. So this was the major drawback, as he has not given spaces for noble gases. First demerit was no space for noble gas. Now second drawback. Second drawback was what? Now see, if he later on, if anybody if any one of us or any one of the scientists, if keep the noble gas here, if after the discovery of noble gas, if we keep this noble gas here, after hydrogen we kept helium, after fluorine we have kept neon, here we have kept argon, what will happen? This octave rule will get filled, because he has mentioned that every eighth element have the similar property to the first element. But if we include these noble gases in this table, what will happen? Here 9 elements will be there, as hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. So here 9 elements will be there, and the octave rule will fail. Means the periodicity which we are seeing here without noble gases, that cannot be seen in the eighth, with the first and eighth element. So in this way the octave rule was failed here. Second drawback was discovery of heavy metal. Discovery of heavy metals. What happened here with the heavy metals? After calcium, every 8th element does not possess similar properties. Means till calcium he has kept all these elements, and after calcium, whatever the elements were, he was not able to arrange them in the way that the properties of this element could get similar. As we have seen here that these elements are showing the similar properties. See, carbon and silicon here, they also show the same property. The property is known as catenation. Catenation means what? They can form a long chains. In carbon and its compound, in chapter 4, you can see, if you read this chapter, you can see that carbon has a tendency to form long chains, right? Coal, your charcoal, everything, these are what? These are the long chains of carbon. So carbon, silicon, these have the tendency to form long chain networks. This process is known as what? Catenation. So these are also have the similar properties. These are the non-metals, alkali non-metals. So these also have the similar properties. These have also the similar properties. But after the calcium, after the element calcium, heavy metals were introduced, and these were not fixed in this rule, as they didn't have the similar properties with that of the elements which are present before in this groups. So here he has failed. The discovery of heavy metals failed this law. Then again, third discovery was what? Third drawback was what? There is no space for new element. As we have seen